We are on Book Talk, and we have a guest with us who is known as Raj K. Anand. Welcome to the show, Raj.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Appreciate that.
Yeah, this interview is going to be a really interesting one. I already see that beforehand.
Thank you.
Yes, so with us we have Dr. Raj K. Anand, who is a retired cardiology specialist with over 60 years experience. Now, that's quite a long time of experience.
Thank you.
Yes, we are going to talk about the book that Dr. Raj has written, which is called Healthy Diet and Mindfulness to Prevent Coronary Heart Disease. Yes, and for those of you who are watching, you can see it there. That's a healthy diet and mindfulness to prevent coronary heart disease. So, Dr. Raj, I'm excited. If you can tell, I'm excited.
Me as well.
Yeah. So, please, before we proceed, let us know exactly who you are, because we say that you are a cardiology specialist, but there's much more to it than that. Let us know a bit more of you.
Yes, I got my cardiology training at Brigham and Women's Hospital and then Mass General Hospital at Harvard University. I received a scholarship over here and was sent over there. Had very good experience. And then I have been professor of cardiovascular medicine at University of Massachusetts Medical School for over 41 years. Now retired, and I was director of the coronary care unit. I was director of the non-invasive cardiovascular laboratories. I was also director of the cardiovascular research laboratories. I am an author. I have written other books. I'm also an inventor. I invented a thermoelectric angioplasty catheter, which had a global patent as well as in US. It was my wife's wish, who unfortunately died 2 years ago, that I write this book on healthy diet and mindfulness, because for the last quite a few years, I've been teaching healthy diet also at the medical school. And I wanted to complete this. And this book is available at Amazon, and all the proceeds go directly in the loving memory of my wife to Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston. So that is the story. If you ask me why I wrote this book, and the reason is that all the books that I have seen on diet, healthy diet, they talk in generalities. They tell you eat fruits, vegetables, beans, but nobody mentions the specifics of it. Yeah. And by that I mean, you go to supermarket to shop, and suppose you are looking for bread, and there are 10 different kinds of bread. No book tells you which book is good for you. Yeah. And if there are 2-3 breads that you like, yeah, then one is the best for you.
Yeah, and we'll go deep into that once we get to see much more about the book. But before we even go there, let's condolences to the loss of your wife. Sorry for losing your wife.
Thank you so much.
How old was she when she died?
She was 76.
Okay.
And I was 83. And
going a bit back, your name, Raj K. Anand, sounds Indian. You're from India.
If I'm That's correct. Wrong.
Oh, yeah, sure. But you are in the United States, and all your life you've worked in the United States?
I came to United States in 1963.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, all my education took place in India.
Yeah.
I was born in that part of India, which now belongs to Pakistan.
Okay.
And then there was a Holocaust, and Hindus were killed, and my family survived 2 attempts, and finally we reached India.
Mm-hmm.
And I have written a book on that experience as well.
Okay.
My book is cataloged in the National Library of Congress in Washington.
Okay.
For historical purposes, and also in the national libraries of Canada, England, France, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Austria, and Australia.
Mm-hmm. And you, from my experience, now I come from Kenya, and that time that you moved into the States, that's when we got our independence. That's back in 1963. So it's quite a long time. I wasn't born by then when you were already going to the States. Even when you started your career, I wasn't born. Maybe half of your career, that's when I have been living and trying to live a healthy life. But I cannot know how to live a healthy life unless I ask you and ask those who have been before and those who have experienced it in life. By the way, we very much respect the Indians in very many areas, and especially in medicine. You're very well advanced.
Thank you.
And not only in medicine, but in healthy eating and living long lives. I've seen so many Indians who have grown to be quite aged and healthy and strong, like you right now, heading to 90 years. So having you in our show is quite a gem, and we are really glad. And healthy diet and mindfulness. Now, healthy diet. We are going into the details of going into the supermarket and trying to find that right bread. How do I find the healthy diet, or how do I know the healthy diet that I should be taking in order to live that age, that old age?
Right. First of all, healthy diet alone is not enough.
Okay.
It is healthy lifestyle, which is important. And for healthy lifestyle, you have to do 6 things, and they are not difficult. One is healthy diet, which I have discussed in detail in my book.
Okay.
And secondly, regular exercise.
Yeah.
And I exercise for over an hour every day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And I have also discussed here some introduction and details about exercise also. And then the third one is stress reduction, which is very important, especially these days. There's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And there are very debilitating 8 diseases. And those are high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, loss of memory and Alzheimer's disease, cancer, then stomach problems called leaky gut, diabetes, and lastly, arthritis. All these are caused by one and only one basic factor, and that is low-grade chronic inflammation in the body. And if we can stop that and slow down, we will live a healthy life and live longer and not delay the loss of memory as well.
Okay.
So that is, and the stress plays a very big role in these diseases besides lack of exercise and the healthy diet. And so stress reduction is important, and how to reduce the stress. I have mentioned the technique in the book. in the last chapter.
Okay.
Under the name of mindfulness meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why the book name is Healthy Diet and Mindfulness.
Okay.
And fourth one is socializing.
Uh-huh.
Not socializing on the social media, but in person, that is very important. And then the fifth one is adequate sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I have discussed that also. And for adequate sleep, you need 6 to 8 hours sleep. Those who sleep less than 6 hours or over 8 hours, studies have shown live less longer than those who sleep on an average of 7 hours. So
Okay.
6 to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And this does not mean that this is the time when you lie down in bed to the time when you get up from the bed.
Okay.
That should be around 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, the sixth one, is a yearly physical checkup. And there, when you go to ask the doctor for a physical checkup, usually they do your cholesterol, triglycerides, and check you out and all that. But one test they will do only if you ask them. And that is very, very important from the point of view of heart disease. I have mentioned that also in the book.
Yeah.
So these are the things to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll discuss all those in detail.
Ah, beautiful. And it's good that you correct me there. There is not only one aspect of life that is going to make you grow or live to be old and healthy. It's a collection of those items that you have expressed there, that you have explained deeper into the book, which I would ask every person who is going to listen to this to go and get the book, Healthy Diet and Mindfulness to Prevent Coronary Heart Disease by Dr. Raj K. Anand. Now, you talk very much about stress, and I think this is a major issue for many people who are living today, where you find yourself that you're dealing with a lot of life stressors. I mean, there is now the pandemic that is leaving people with joblessness, that is robbing people of family members, that has so much that we can talk about here that is negative and could affect you negatively in your life. In this instance that we are speaking to you, would be very glad to know different ways to reduce or deal with stress so that we can overcome the stress that is facing us on a daily basis. Yeah.
Okay, you want me to answer it?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, stress will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
So stress will not be reduced. It is the effect of stress on your mind and body which would be reduced. So you still living in environment of stress, but you will not feel it.
Mm-hmm.
That is what mindfulness is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Scientific studies, especially done at MIT and also done in England, have shown that those who meditate, and there are hundreds of kinds of meditation, this particular one is called mindfulness meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Those who do that, their minds stay calm,
Yeah.
they remain more focused, and they remain more aware of what's going on in the body and in the surroundings and in the mind. And what happens is, which studies have shown now for quite some time, that our minds are wired negatively.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody does 6 good things for you in a day, and then say one thing you don't like and hurts you, then you will always remember the one that hurt you, and you will forget, gee, the other person did 6 things good for me, so maybe he did not mean it. I might have misunderstood.
Yeah.
So that distinction develops in people who do meditation, and the reason it develops is that mind gets rewired positively from negatively. And let me explain in a little more detail, and that is millions of years ago, our ancestors, they had only 3 things to do. One, get up in the morning and go to get food.
Yeah.
Secondly, when they were there to kill the animal, they were always very afraid that they might get killed, and therefore they were always tense. And then the third function was to bring the meat home, cook, eat, and enjoy. All this experience during the day of tension, that releases the hormones called stress hormones or fear hormones. They were afraid. And that's called cortisol, and then adrenaline and norepinephrine. And that wires the brain negatively. That is why we are negatively wired. With our experiences in life, this can change. And that is why different people are different and negative to different extents.
Yeah.
And what it does is that by changing by rewiring the brain positively, it makes you think more positive, and rather than being reactive, you think before you react.
Okay.
You are more patient. So stress is there, but stress doesn't affect you the way it affects others, so you don't get anxiety attacks.
Yeah. Okay.
This also teaches you how to control those anxiety attacks. And I have mentioned a technique in my book, and I have clearly mentioned that this book is not enough to tell you all. So I would suggest that you join a group also where there's instructor. But if you don't join, you can read my book and it tells you the technique. All I asked was, people mostly complain, gee, I don't have time.
Okay.
I tell them, do you have 3 minutes? Everybody has 3 minutes. Just sit down in a chair or at the edge of your bed or bench, close your eyes, relax, and then just pay your attention to the tip of the nose and feel the air going in and out. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the tip of the nose and just try to focus there for 3 minutes without interruption. If 3 minutes not, let it be 2 minutes to begin with.
Okay.
And then when you feel comfortable, gradually increase it to 4 minutes, then 5 minutes. And once you achieve 5 minutes, you are there. And then you can prolong it before you go to my full technique. And I can give you one example. There is Don Harris, the anchor man who comes on channel ABC.
Okay.
In the morning over here on Good Morning America program. He used to stutter and stammer a lot. And he said, I can never be a reporter. Somebody said, do you have 5 minutes? He said, sure. So they told him to do this, what I just mentioned. And he said, after a few months, I noticed my stammering was gone. I was never anxious or nervous. And today I am an anchor man.
Okay.
So, and there was an article written about him a couple of years ago in Times Magazine. And now he does this several times a day whenever he can think of.
Yeah.
So that is how the stress is relieved on people who meditate regularly.
I think the reason that many people say that they don't have time, and the way that they are very affected by the stress, is that they are everywhere that their mind can take them. So I get from your technique that we have to pay attention to the here and now. That's something that is just beyond my nose.
Exactly. That is called moment to moment awareness of what you are doing when you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you are in touch in yourself.
Okay. And people are going to get more from the book once they get to read it and know about your deeper technique. You've just given us the highlight of the technique. Now, I have a question on diet. Now, these days we are eating too much junk. I mean, it's not on the same issue where we say that we don't have time. I am going to cook the simplest food that I can do, and that could be getting some noodles from the supermarket and boiling them and going back to work. Now, which is a healthy diet in passing, in simple words, which is a good healthy diet that I should always eat? And you can mention one thing in it that I never should miss on a daily basis.
Okay. In the foods, there are carbs and there are fats and there are proteins. And you need all the three.
Okay.
Carbs and fats give you energy, whereas proteins are used as cement and bricks to repair all the damage that occurs during the day to our cells. There are 39 trillion cells on an average in an adult. So you need all the three. And let me start with, when you eat carbs, make sure you eat good carbs and not bad carbs.
Okay.
Now, the definition of carb is why good and bad. The carbs that contain at least 10% fiber in it are good carbs. And those that contain less are bad carbs, and you should try to avoid as much as you can. And those bad carbs are sugar, white flour, cornstarch, and cornmeal.
Okay.
These are bad. And the good ones are fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole grains. Whole grains are the ones that contain more than 10% of the content as fiber. And I've discussed that in my book and even shown a picture how to choose between the bread, which has 10% or more fiber, very easily.
Okay.
So these are good carbs and bad carbs. Then there are good fats and bad fats. Now, for bad fats, you should avoid fried food. You should avoid highly processed, pre-packaged meat like sausages, bologna, salami, and other pre-packaged snacks. And thirdly, saturated fats, which are in the meat and whole dairy products. And the fourth one is trans fats, where vegetable oil is converted into a solid like margarine, Crisco. So these are the 4 bad fats which you should try to avoid.
Okay.
Question is, what are the good fats that you should eat?
Good.
And the good fats are nuts, seeds, fish, and avocado.
Okay.
Now, among the nuts, walnuts and pistachio are the best. The others are not bad, but they contain more saturated fats. So stick with these 2.
Okay.
Among the seeds, there are chia seeds. Now, previously, flax seeds were very common, but we found out that flax seeds you cannot digest as whole seeds. You have to buy it in the ground form. And when you buy that, put it in refrigerator, in 2 weeks, all the good fats are gone. Whereas this does not happen with chia seeds, and you don't have to buy ground ones.
Okay.
only thing I have to emphasize that with chia seeds, the package usually says take 2 tablespoons every day. But no, you will start loose stools and you will never eat it again. So start with half a teaspoon, soak it at night. In the morning, it will become like a gel. If you want, you can eat it as it is. It is very tasty, or you can put it in a smoothie or vegetable juice and drink that. And I put in vegetable juice every morning.
Okay.
And so nuts, seeds, then fish, and then avocado. Those are good fats. And among the fish, the best is the salmon fish.
Okay.
There are other fish like herring fish, Atlantic mackerel, not king mackerel, and lake trout. And then if you buy tuna, which is very high in mercury, always buy canned light tuna, no other tuna. Then sea bass is also good. Haddock is good, but that is at the bottom of the list because it has more mercury and it has more purines in it. So those who have gout should eat less of haddock.
Okay.
And in United States, tilapia is very common because it is cheap, but its nutrition is very low. So that is about the fish. Avoid the fish which are big, like swordfish. All big fish eat small fish, and small fish is loaded with mercury. So big fish has a lot of mercury in it, and therefore swordfish is not a healthy fish. So that is about the fish. And then as far as avocado is concerned, avocado has very good fats called omega-9 fatty acids. And because it is fat, all fats contain twice the calories of what equal amount of carbs have. So you can put on weight. So don't go gung-ho on it, just in moderation. One should eat no more than 2 tablespoons of avocado twice a day. And when you cook food, there's only and only one oil to use, and that is avocado oil. Now, we do not have time to discuss, but I have discussed in detail in my book, Why Not, the other oils.
Okay.
In the world, the oil which is sold the most is canola oil. And I have mentioned in the details, and if you read these details, you will never look at it. Then other oil which is good is olive oil.
Okay.
Now, olive oil, when you cook with it, you have to know the smoke point of the oil, otherwise trans fats will be formed. With avocado oil, it is 520 degrees Fahrenheit, and we don't cook at that temperature, usually cook at lower than that, around 400. Whereas the smoke point of olive oil is 320 only, and we do mostly cooking at 400. So you should not cook in olive oil. You should always use avocado oil. Now, if you want to eat olive oil in the salad, it is fine as long as you put balsamic vinegar also. I have mentioned in my book why.
Okay.
And quickly, I can tell you why. There is a well-known cardiologist in Maryland over here, and his name is Robert Vogel, V-O-G-L-E. He has shown by using ultrasound that if you eat olive oil in the salad only or with the bread, then immediately within an hour, your arteries, including the arteries of the arms, arteries are same everywhere, they constrict by about 70%.
Whoa.
And it takes them 8 to 10 hours to release, come back to normal. But we don't wait 10 hours before our next meal. We eat every 4 hours.
Yes.
Therefore, they remain constricted all the time and get damaged, and their inner lining gets damaged, and that leads to coronary disease.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, whenever you use olive oil, use only in the salad, and make sure you add balsamic vinegar, because he showed when you add balsamic vinegar, then it does not happen.
Is balsamic vinegar the same as apple vinegar, apple cider vinegar? Something
No,
like that.
balsamic vinegar is a very powerful antioxidant.
Okay.
It is not the same as apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
Since you asked me, I have mentioned apple cider vinegar in my book and advised against it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who claim you reduce weight, your cholesterol goes down. All those studies are in the animals. It is yet to be proven in human beings.
Okay.
Secondly, apple cider vinegar is acidic.
Yeah.
It destroys the enamel of your teeth.
Okay.
The gastric juices are also acidic, so it can upset your stomach. So if you want on a regular basis to use apple cider vinegar, use only 1 tablespoon once a day, diluted in a glass of water,
Okay.
or sprinkled over the salad. Never more than that.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting.
And you asked me, what is one thing that I would say everybody must take? The answer is antioxidants, antioxidants, antioxidants.
Which
Because
are?
there's a lot of pollution around us, and antioxidants are the cause which cause, oxidants are the cause which cause inflammation in the body. So we need antioxidants. And antioxidants are present in vegetables.
Yes.
In all colors of vegetables. And they are also present in beans, black beans, and pinto beans are the best. And then they are present in whole grains. When you eat a bread, make sure it is whole grain, and I have explained the details. Then they are present in nuts, and the best is again walnuts, or you can have pistachios. The chia seeds also have that.
Okay.
And then mostly people get their lot of antioxidants in coffee in the morning, in some countries from the tea. The red wine also has antioxidants. And lastly, I have to say, chocolates. Everybody loves chocolates.
Yes.
But you should not then go and eat chocolate, a lot of it. Try to limit it to half to 1 ounce a day of dark chocolate.
Okay.
And not all dark chocolates are the same. Make sure the package says cacao content of 70% or more, never less than 60%.
I think I have some here. Say 70%.
Exactly.
So
People are sometimes, fooled because they say dark milk chocolate.
Okay.
Dark milk chocolate has cacao content of less than 35%. That is why instead of confusing people, I tell them, read the label, make sure it says cacao content of 70% or more, and never less than 60%.
Okay. Insightful. Now, as we progress, I happen to like Indian food. And those of you who have, the viewers who have tasted some Indian food, so hot. Why is that?
Okay, because they use spices, and you don't have to eat hard. You can tell them, cut down on spices. Where I am living here in senior living, they are very kind to me. I told them at night, at least I like Indian food.
Yes.
And I gave them the recipe, and it is not hot at all.
Okay.
And they don't put any pepper in it.
Okay, so it's not a plus. It's not a plus to have hot pepper in the food.
Well, when you say hot, if it is
Yes.
because of pepper,
Yeah.
then let me say if you like it in cooked food, pepper is fine.
Okay.
As long as you feel comfortable. But
Mhm.
since you asked me this question, and I'm glad you did, there is something which can cause disaster in your gastrointestinal tract called leaky gut syndrome, where there's always bloating and upset stomach, and you are unhappy.
Mhm.
That's called leaky gut, and most of the people have it and don't even know it.
Okay.
That is caused by what's called as toxic lectins in the food.
Mhm.
They are present in the seeds of raw tomatoes, raw bell pepper, raw green or red pepper, and raw potatoes.
Okay.
So as long as you cook them, those lectins get destroyed and you are fine. If you go to a restaurant and order salad and you happen to ask for tomatoes in it too, make sure to ask them, please remove the seeds.
Okay.
Otherwise, you are doing harm to yourself.
Ah.
To answer your question, eating hot food, if you like, is not bad at all, as long as it is cooked and not eaten raw. Some people take green pepper and chew it with their meal.
Yes, I've seen that.
But that is dangerous. That has toxic lectins in the seeds.
Okay. Oh, interesting, interesting. We should get that book and read much more about it.
Thank you.
We should. So whoever is listening to this, go get that book. Remember, we are talking about the book, Healthy Diet and Mindfulness to Prevent Coronary Heart Disease, written by Dr. Raj K. Anand. And
if you permit me,
yes.
since you had said, name one thing, but I must also mention for vegetarians,
Yes.
they must take one multivitamin with mineral every day.
Okay.
Because vitamin B12 comes only from animal source, and vegetarians lack that, and it's a very important vitamin. So they must take one multivitamin with minerals every day.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you very much for that. And we cannot fully expound on this book, and this is why I'm advising people to go and get it. And I know there are areas that we have not touched. For example, when you talk about exercises, what kind of exercise should I do on a daily basis?
Okay. There are aerobic exercises.
Mm-hmm.
And there are stretching exercises.
Okay.
And you should perform all of them. Don't have to do every day. One day you do one, the other day you do the other one. Better even if you mix them. And aerobics are of two types. One is where you go walking or running. The other one is aerobic with resistance, like bicycle. Or if you are walking uphill, that is also a resistance. So you should do all these.
Okay.
Now, remember, first when you get up in the morning, you should stretch your body a little bit. When you go for exercise over there, first stretching is very important. And it would be better if somebody asks just once to somebody who uses exercises as to what do you do for stretching of every muscle in the body. And it's not difficult. And there are, just remember that when you exercise, it has been shown that those who do strenuous exercise for half an hour each day for 3 days, that's all you need for your good health, and especially heart health. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do more.
Okay.
The more you do, better it is, but that is the least. And no more than 2 days should lapse between the two consecutive exercise days.
Ah, okay. So it's just
strenuous
one day.
Right, for half an hour each day, 3 days a week. If you are doing brisk walk, then for half an hour a day, 5 days a week, or 40 minutes a day, 3 days a week.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful,
And you
beautiful.
must do stretching again after you finish exercise.
Ah, okay, and that's important. Now, when you tell us to prepare for exercise and then tone down after the exercise.
Yeah, it's called warm-up period and cool-off period. And I must also mention that yoga is also an exercise which is aerobics, and at the same time it involves stretching and strengthening. So yoga is a very good exercise. I do Mondays and Thursdays yoga, and I do these other Western exercises on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And on Wednesdays and Fridays, I do Tai Chi, which is a Chinese exercise. It is good, especially for elderly people. You move all your joints and all that. And then there are some yoga movements also slow. I do that also. And on top of that, I walk and bicycle every day, 5 days a week, and I'm 86.
Ah, wonderful. Yes, great, great, great. We all would want to live to be your age or even older. And so this is what I'm advising for those people who are listening. Go get the book. Go get the book and get to know much more. And we really appreciate each and every one of you who is watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the recorded version of this podcast. We appreciate you. And it's good that you're watching us from wherever you're watching us. And let's socialize, but this is not the way. So Dr. Raj says, which is socializing? Which is the right socializing that we should be doing?
Right. People spend a lot of time on the phones socializing that way, which is called social media socializing.
Yeah.
That creates more stress on you. Better it is at least socialize with people in person.
Okay.
Now, for example, right now I'm talking with you. If it is coronavirus, you cannot talk otherwise, then let us talk on the Zoom, for example, or even on the phone. But personal socializing, whenever you can, you should use that opportunity, because just being with someone face to face, it secretes two hormones in the body from the brain. They are called serotonin and dopamine. And their levels go up when you are socializing face to face and laughing every now and then. And that adds to your health. Tension when you are socializing face to face and laughing.
Okay. You're hearing? I think
yes, I'm hearing you.
We got interrupted there. Yeah, socializing day to day.
Yes, I was saying that socializing, it must be in person, rather than social media all the time, whenever you can get the opportunity. That is why they say human beings are social animals.
Yes.
We are. And also, when you personally socialize, for example, small things, but people don't realize, you shake hands.
Yeah.
Or you touch someone. And it is well shown, when you touch someone or you shake hands, there's a hormone called oxytocin that is released, and that makes you feel good inside. You are happy, and a happy person is always a good person and lives longer and in good health, keeps you in good health. You can see if a person is sad and suddenly you give some good news, the person perks up and doesn't feel that sad. When person is sad, usually they feel tired. And when they feel good, then they don't feel tired. They can go on for a longer time. There's more adrenaline flowing.
Okay.
And that is why socializing in person, touching is important. Now, one thing which I strongly recommend, that is before you leave for work in the morning, go to your mirror. And this has been shown to be effective in neurobiology. Raise your hand and you see your hand being raised in the mirror.
Yes.
You give high five to that and say, you can do it, go for it. And then you leave the house wherever you are going. Believe me, you will feel at that time happy and energized, and you will feel like going and taking on the world. That is how important touching is.
Yeah. Good, good, good. Beautiful. So if I don't have anybody to touch me in the morning, I can just touch my hand in the mirror. And
yes, exactly.
It's going to give me a preparation for a beautiful and a great day ahead of me.
Right.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Raj. So for those who are watching or listening to this podcast, Book Talk has been beautiful today. Thanks to Dr. Raj, who's given us some great insights, but he didn't give us all. Go and get the book. And where can we get the book, Dr. Raj?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. I have my own website. Yes. You can order it on Amazon.com and then say Raj K. Anand, and Amazon sends it. Or you can go to my website, which would be better. Why? Because over there, the name of my website is rajkanand.com.
Yes.
One word, RAJKANAND.com.
Yes.
And over there, you will read something about me, something about my wife, in whose memory, loving memory, I'm donating all the monies, all the proceeds from the book directly from Amazon to Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
Okay.
And so you will see that, and then you will see podcast. So you can read the podcast, and then it says shop, and you click on that, it connects you directly to Amazon. And then over there you can see the book, you can read the ratings, and you can order it also. It's $13.99.
Yeah.
And you can also have it, this is in paper book.
Okay.
And you can also have in Kindle form for $2.99.
Yeah.
And then there is also a button on my website. You click on that, and that is contact. Okay. And on that, there is my email address, which is rajkanand@icloud.com.
Okay.
And they can contact me, and I promise that after reading book, if you have any questions, you write on that and I will answer it. Okay, thank you very much. So actually, I'm going to share that link on the video and the podcast where I share it. Someone listening to this can go to bookplacemedia.com and you'll get this interview there and the link to the website rajkanand.com, and get to read about Dr. Raj and get to read the book also. So thank you very much. But before we go, Dr. Raj, at Book Talk, we always give you the last opportunity to give some words that you'd like us to remember you with. Give us a parting shot. To give you what, excuse me? Some words that you'd like us to remember you with. Something good that you would like us to remember you with. Okay. Yeah. I would like to mention 5 foods which will make you healthy and happy. Yes. 5 foods to avoid. How about that? Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah. 5 foods to eat are salmon, broccoli, egg whites, walnuts, and chocolates. So these are the 5 foods which are good for you. And the 5 foods that you should try to avoid are sugar,
Yep.
fried food, pre-packaged, highly processed meat and pre-packaged snacks, saturated fat, which is in the meat and whole dairy products,
Yes.
and trans fats, which is vegetable oil, which are solidified like Crisco or margarine.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Dr. Raj. We really appreciate everything that you've shared with us today. And thank you for writing the book, because it's going to help many people. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity and the audience who are listening.
Yeah, it's quite an honor.
Very, very much. God bless you all.
God bless you, even those who are watching this, those who are listening. Thank you very much. And yeah, keep it positive and eat healthy, exercise, every positive thing that you can do to live a healthy life. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome, sir. Thank you, and healthy lifestyle to everyone.
Yep.